Hey YouTube, with Destiny a mere 9 days away at this point, the crunch for news is getting intense, but I've done my best and I've fought tooth and nail to find you this information, so hopefully you guys enjoy it, and without further ado, let's get down to it. And being that Destiny is 9 days away, the game is essentially done. Everything is in it that's going to be in it in the initial release, and with that, that means that the final tweaks to weapons are in place. And at PAX Prime this year, Bungie was kind enough to reveal to us that auto rifles are also getting nerfed because they seem to be a god-killing machine in the beta, so they decided it was a wee bit overpowered and they're toning it down a little bit. And on the talk of weapons, you're not going to be able to trade weapons or armor in Destiny like you can in games like Borderlands and Borderlands 2, because what you collect in this game is what makes you you, and it is what makes your character unique. So if you allow trading, it takes away from the mystique and lore and the excitement you get from earning each piece of gear instead of trading someone for it. And we also got a bit of news from Bungie's weekly update that can be combined with the PAX Prime information that we got, and when we combine this information, it ends up being cooler than most of the Power Ranger Zords I own. And I own about 50. What we learn is that raids are located in an area known as the Waking Ruins on Venus, and this area is a social bubble where you will be able to see other players who are not involved in the raid yet. And being that raids are on Venus, and there also happens to be time-traveling space robots on Venus, and that it has also been said that the Vex, who are the time-traveling space robots on Venus, have architecture which can alter the landscape because it's constantly moving, I think it's pretty safe to assume that the raid's entrance needs to be built or constructed. And if we tie this to some information we got out of Bungie's weekly update, which stated that there was a group that it took them 45 minutes to construct the entrance to the raid, though they did have quote-unquote communication issues. Maybe they had to rely on the weird motion gestures in this game that don't really do anything except get you shot in the battlefield. So unless this group didn't know how to hold the X button down, it is pretty much guaranteed that you will have to somehow change some architecture of the landscape, or perhaps complete a puzzle, maybe make a key in order to access the Vault of Glass. Also in the Bungie weekly update, Destiny's design lead, Luke Smith, stated that a group of 6 needs to form a metaphorical key in order to open an encounter's lock. This means encounters in general, but he could have been dropping a hint that we need to actually build some sort of key in order to open the door for the raid, which is the Vault of Glass. And Luke himself specifies that he is referring to the raids by stating, once you know what you're doing, it will not take you 45 minutes. Oh yeah, and if you want to be one of the first people to beat the raid and have it counted, you're not going to be able to just beat the raid on normal. Normal is the first difficulty. Bungie is counting the first completion of the raid in hard mode, which is the difficulty you unlock after beating the raid in normal. Normal mode is essentially the tutorial for hard mode. Normal mode teaches you what you need to do. Hard mode is where you put that knowledge to the test. I think it's pretty safe to assume that the first completion of the raid in hard mode will be for each console. That being that the first people to complete it on PS4 will not have a shrine or monument built to them on Xbox One or 360 or PS3 or vice versa. And if you don't know what I mean by monuments built to them, you should check out my other video where I discuss all the other raid news that we've had up until this point, which you can access by clickety-clacking that little box that just popped up on your screen. And one of the last bits of raid news that I was able to take out of the weekly update is that raids saves for checkpoints will only last 1 week because Bungie will have weekly resets within Destiny for these types of events. So if you want to beat the raid on hard mode and get yourself immortalized in Destiny, you gotta do it within a week. And the last bit of news for raids is that you will get class-specific armor for completing the raid or participating in it. And there are very specific weapons you can receive from the raid, which are tailor-made and specialized in order to help you beat the raid. These weapons are for each variation of weapon classes, that being hand cannon, sniper, shotgun, auto rifle, pulse rifle, all of them. There is one version of each of those guns at least that is tailor-made to help you beat the raid. Also, by any chance, if you were wondering what that sweet artwork was that was scrolling across the screen, check out Bungie's weekly update, which I linked in the description below for the download links to make some sweet banners and backgrounds for your computer. And with that, I would like to say thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you want more Destiny coverage, like for example what comes in the Destiny Ghost Edition, don't forget to click subscribe up in the corner because it's free, it's fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.